Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, the podcast that helps real estate professionals understand how AI is changing real estate and the strategies you can use to win. I'm your host, Rajiv Saja. In today's episode, we explore how agents can move from simply using AI tools to actually building systems that transform their business. I'm joined by Jaime Peca, team lead at Real Brokerage based outside of Ottawa, Canada, who shares how she went from basic AI use to creating SOPs, custom workflows, and even building internal tools for her team with no technical background. We dive into how she's using AI to solve real business pain points, improve operations, and help agents perform at a higher level without getting overwhelmed by technology. Let's dig in with Jaime. Well, welcome to Real Estate AI Flash. This is the week before Memorial Day, at least in the US, but our guest today is Jaime Peca with the Real Brokerage outside of Ottawa, Canada. And Jaime, I think you are the third Canadian guest on the podcast, if I count correctly. But welcome to the podcast, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to represent Canada.
There you go. And so, first of all, I'd love for the listening audience to sort of get to know you a little bit. And how did you get into real estate and bring us to today?
Okay. I have been licensed as a real estate agent for a little over 5.5 years. So still a baby in the industry, really, but I've got about a little over 15 years in sales and marketing. Sales is my passion. I'm an entrepreneur through and through. So when the beginning of COVID hit, and I come from a huge network marketing background, so speaking on stages, leading teams, all of that kind of came to a halt, and really just our world changed. And I had one of my best friends that was in real estate, and so I asked if I could come along and help stage and help her with marketing in real estate. And I just caught the bug. I've always known that I've loved real estate. I've loved homes. I've loved pricing. You know when you know. And I just got my license, and that's it. It's history.
And so you've been in the industry for how many years now?
5.5 years.
5.5.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like right around the COVID timeframe, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're sort of support. You do operations. You're part of a team.
Yeah, so we've got a team about 8 agents. We've got 3 full-time staff, and my business partner and I welcomed another business partner in January of last year. So a little bit over a year ago, when we made the switch to Real Broker. So it's been amazing. But my love for AI kind of brought me into the operations side of things.
Yeah, for sure. And so you're a team lead, and you're sort of focused on the back office operations side because obviously AI can help quite a bit there. We'll get into all of that.
Yeah.
And so have you always been in Canada, Jaime?
Yes, born and raised.
Born and raised. My wife and I are coming there July. My cousin lives in Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
So it's like a little mini family reunion happening July 4th weekend, which is
fun.
Yeah, so can't wait. So what was your first light bulb moment where you felt like AI is going to be a big thing that I can kind of embrace and transform what I do as an agent, as a team, etc.?
Yeah, I feel like I started like everybody else I thought AI was ChatGPT. I thought that was the one. That's how you referred to every LLM was ChatGPT. And I used it. I used it for help me find a restaurant.
Yeah.
So basic. And then I caught the bug of I love learning. And so I would hop on YouTube and just start following different people's. And the first big light bulb moment for me was when I don't know about the market in the US if it's as challenging as it is in Canada right now, but the last 1.5 years has been a struggle. And so managing sellers' expectations with buyers' expectations and having those hard conversations has been it's just been a chore. And so I figured out that, when we've got listings that are sitting and I'm doing the investigation and my homework, knowing how many days on market a home is sitting and going, we need to have this price conversation, but they're not hearing me. I realized that I'm not translating this the way that they need to hear and not feel emotional about it. So I went into our back office and I would pull their MLS sheet, and then I would run a whole new CMA based on 30-day sold data. And I chucked it together and just talked to it and said, I need to have this hard conversations with sellers that are just not understanding how bad it is to let homes sit overpriced and on the market. And it spit out the most beautiful email that was so detailed that literally would have taken me at least an hour to get the words and the data, and I sent it off and got $100,000 price reduction. And that was like, oh my God, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, no. So I think so. So your like light bulb moment was a little bit obviously progressive over time, but the first one that sort of really felt like articulate my value or share my expertise around a certain topic with
Yeah,
the seller that was well articulated. Because I think as much as people say, oh, you got to have your true voice, I agree with all of that, tone, voice, personality, etc. But AI can write better than most people. Let's just call it like that.
100%. Yeah.
Especially if you're a realtor.
Yes.
um, you have a lot of skills. Unless you went to writing school, even then, I would trust an AI, iterate over time, and get it to a good spot. And we could do a lot more of that today, and we'll get into that as well. So that's good
Yeah.
takeaway. So,
Yeah.
um, and you'd lead a team of 8. You have 3 people staff wise, and you've sort of got the AI bug.
Yep.
In so many ways. What are some things? We'll go 2 parts here. One is let's talk about agents on your team. How are they leveraging specific workflows you may have taught them or built for them so they don't have to figure it out because you're figuring it out for them?
Yep.
Let's go there first because many of our listeners are agents. Some brokers are there. So I want to get to the broker part towards the end, like operational stuff. But let's talk to agents. And what are some key workflows that you built that they should take away from?
Yeah. So helping agents build out their brand voice
Yeah,
alongside our brokerage brand voice. So we are really rural. We deal a lot with septics and wells and farmland and acreage, and very different voice than somebody who is dealing in the city with condos and stuff like that. And so I found it, although every Thursday for an hour, I make myself available in the office for any agent to come in and talk about what they're having challenges with and what I can help them with in terms of AI. And there's so many out there that they often become paralyzed. So I have created a brand voice document that every agent has access to in order to put it into their chosen LLM and have it remember all the time how we
perfect.
speak, what we say, what we don't say. We're not blasting out emojis and, M dashes everywhere. Like the goal is
Yeah,
not to look like AI.
yeah, perfect. So
Yeah. So that was a
let
big
me
game
just double
changer.
click on one thing you said.
Yeah.
I think if you're listening to this, you want to look at repeatable workflows that need good context. One is brand voice, to your point, Jamie. And those things translate really well no matter which LLM you're using. Okay.
Hmm.
That's the beauty of this too. So I mean it's the shift. There's a whole movement between people moving from ChatGPT to Claude. And if you're one of those looking for that movement, I'll put a link in the show notes. I built a document so you don't have to lose anything from ChatGPT. You can bring it over. But the point is, building these into skills.
Yeah.
There's a whole concept about skills, especially with Claude. But no matter which one you're using, you could take this brand document. If you build it once,
Yep.
rinse and repeat it over time.
Just keep it
Right?
on your desktop and just chuck it in every time you start a conversation. It's really that
Yeah,
simple.
yeah. And in many
Yeah.
cases, you can probably add that as a skill on a folder and connect
Yep.
that in Claude. And
Yep.
here we go. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. Another thing, as I kind of moved into like the back end, and keep in mind, like I have zero computer skills, like none. I am not a techie. I have no background in computers. There's sometimes I do things and I'm like, I saved it somewhere on I have no idea where. Like I'm one of those people. That bad. But I realized that where I was spending so much of my time was like not having systems in place. And as we're looking to get through these stressful times in business, I realized that like SOPs, standard operating systems, in every part of our business are the only way to remove the bottlenecks. And I just had to raise my hand and go like, I am always the bottleneck. Like I'm exhausted from being the, hey, do you have 5 minute person? But I'm not allowing anybody to take my knowledge and do the things. So creating SOPs, and I'm still doing this. I feel like I'm in months and months and months of creating these SOPs, but being able to hop on a voice note and going, okay, I'm constantly asked these questions. We always get to a point of my operations gets to here and then always has to bring it back to me. So building SOPs in every part of our business has really, really helped so much.
100%. And I think that's worth double clicking a little bit. I think if you're listening to this and you don't have an SOP, the beauty of it is you can have AI interview you and build your SOP.
Yes. Yeah, I think so many people forget about that. It's just like the biggest gap right now is being able to tell people stop trying to prompt and start getting it to ask you. And that's how smart our AI is just say, here's the challenge in my business. Here's a tool I use all the time, Whisper Flow. Spend the money, get Whisper Flow. But when I'm sitting here and Alex is my operations manager back there, but the amount of times that she gets interrupted in a day or has to stop and pivot, every time I hop on my thing and say, hey, Claude, here's a big gap. Here's a big pain point in my business. Help me create an SOP based on XYZ and interview me in order to get the knowledge. It's done in minutes.
100%. And I think if you can just wrap the mindset that AI is not a tool, but it's a teammate, number one. Another way to look at this is it's a sparring partner, right? And if you can have it interview you, to your point, on anything, literally, you're going into a buyer consult or you're coming out of a buyer consult. I always talk about, taking clients' consent and recording it. I mean, I'm a fan of Plod. If you're watching it, you can see it. But again, whatever you're using, you could have it coach you on what you can do better.
Yes.
I've even done keynotes, Jamie, where I sort of recorded my whole keynote on Zoom and uploaded it to chat or Claude, wherever you're using, and say, here's a keynote. I spoke to agents. Here was the topic. Give me a grade on 1 to 10. And then coach me on how I can get from what the score was to 10.
I love that.
Right? Again, so think of AI as your super intelligent second brain.
Yeah.
And
a brain that has knowledge from across the world of the 100%. Smartest of the smartest people that's going to coach you on how to be the best.
Yeah. So I think that's a good takeaway. It's worth doubling down. Our podcast guests have said interviewing, I think that's the stage. Just don't use ChatGPT or anything you're using for just getting answers to questions. That's where we all begin. But you got to move fast towards having it kind of give you input, feedback.
Yeah, and I think even more to that point is stop telling it what you think is the right answer. It is the brain. So rather than saying, and like I found myself I have to remind myself, I have little sticky notes all the time when I'm looking for a solution to a problem. Rather than trying to say, here's what I think, you're going to say, here's my problem, find a solution. This is what I want to happen. Now go.
Yeah.
Let it do that. Stop trying to give it what you think. Because if you knew how to do it, you would do it.
You would do it. Or if you have certain thoughts, share your thoughts and say, what are the gaps in my thinking?
Yeah, poke holes in it.
Yeah, poke holes in it. So there's several ways you can go. So that's great takeaways. Build SOPs if you don't have it. Easy way to do it through AI, through an interview. And then brand voice were 2 key takeaways so far. What else you got going on?
One of my newest things, and this is when I felt like I was like, I'm in the techie world now. I'm a nerd.
Everybody's a nerd. That's the beauty of it.
I'm shockingly, like, I didn't realize how passionate, I'm passionate about learning always, but it's exciting to have a new passion at 43 years old that I've never had before. So one thing that I built that I'm really proud of is, and it's not even finished yet, but I built out an app for every agent in our team to have on their phone that answers frequently asked questions. as well as we're a listing heavy brokerage team.
Yeah.
We carry a lot of listings. So to expect that every agent is going to know everything about everything when they get that call is not something that's attainable. So I wanted to create something that as soon as a listing goes live, we can input that PDF into this app, and immediately we've got an agent that gets a call for 123 Main Street and they don't know the answer to a question. They can open their app while they're on the phone and say age of septic for 123 Main, and it will give that information, or the price, or how many days on market it's been. That, and then having new agents come on that maybe need more handholding than what we can provide. It's, you're about to present or put together an offer. What documents do I need? Don't forget this. It's been a huge game changer, and it like I just keep adding on to the brain so that it's at everybody's fingertip all the time.
Yeah. So you built, just to kind of clarify a little bit and
Yeah.
go into a little bit. So agents need in the moment answers to specific things around listings. In this case, you built an app that is all listings. It's just listings your team has, correct?
In our team, yeah. So they'll get leads for all of our
Perfect.
listings.
Yeah. So and it has the full details of that listing, and you could ask it any questions.
All of the really important one that a buyer would ask, like what's the age of the furnace? How many days on the market has it been? Is it conditionally sold? Like all of the things that are important to people that are interested in viewing that property.
That's a really good narrow use case. And if you're listening to this, you should find narrow things that are valuable versus trying to do so many things with an app that you would never get started, right?
Yeah.
Plus, I think the key takeaway, correct me if I'm wrong, is also it's not just what's available on the public internet about that listing. There's some information that doesn't exist in IDX or whatever it is.
Exactly.
That has, the agent knows all of that, and you're making it easy for them to answer the question.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's freeing up our operations team as well as like the owners to be able to, if I'm not available 24/7, it's not holding you up from doing your job properly.
100%.
So, maybe it's, oh my gosh, where do I put send this deposit? Somebody just purchased one of our properties. Where is the deposit information? Or I need to cancel and relist a listing. I don't remember where to send it. Oh, here's the link.
I was in a presentation last year. I think the person speaking, Steve Brown, he's like an AI futurist, and he said most companies have people, they spend, I think he said 32, correct me if I'm assuming this is correct, 32 days a year just looking for information.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean, and that's true with an agent too. Like, like we're working through, I work at Bright MLS now, and we are looking at agents log into the MLS to get information. That will evolve over time with AI native stuff. But one of the pain points we're trying to solve is if an agent is at a listing appointment or at a buyer consult, and the client asks them a specific market question that is a little outside of what they prepped for, we want to build a connector in Claude or OpenAI, whatever it is, that gives them all of the insights with trusted data from the MLS. So I can simply say, agent can ask, oh, what is the list to sale price ratio in Ottawa, Canada for the last 6 months, whatever those numbers are.
We actually have that in my app too.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. You obviously need full MLS data for it, but the concept is removing the friction points for agents and making them look good in front of their clients. And that's the beauty, right? So
and it's I always say, like, I would rather say, you know what, I'm not sure, give me a second. But if you could say, you know what, I'm not actually sure, let me pull, and you can pull it up that fast, like you are miles ahead than an agent that either makes it up or just doesn't have the information.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So figure out what that is for you. You can literally, if you're an agent, you can literally take market statistics for your market area from your MLS, download the CSVs, whatever it gives you, and go beyond your counties, whatever your market area is, go beyond, so you're really well prepared, and you can build an app with like 100%. A Replit or whatever it is, and literally have it handy, and don't wait for your broker to do it. If you're listening to this.
Well, and I don't know about you, but like our user interface for our like it's awful. It
Yeah.
is setting up searches, and it's so painful to use, and people stop using it because it's so many extra steps that they would almost maybe not rather, but go without important information because they just don't even know where to go.
You're right. And look, I think the future of how agents interact with MLSs, I have a belief. Since I'm sort of building this AI transformation, I think they'll just talk to AI and it will do stuff in the MLS. So they don't have to learn an interface. They don't have to kind of go pull stuff, push
Yeah.
stuff. I think it'll take us a while to get there, only because of the demographical change of how people are used to doing certain things.
Yeah.
But I think the AI will is fast becoming the new UI, user interface, right? For people to just talk. Like you
Yeah.
talked about Whisperflow. I love Whisperflow. I can't live without it.
Yeah.
Just talk to it, and it has smartness beyond just a transcription feature
Yeah,
that
and
makes it
what's
much
so
smarter.
nice about it is like we all learn differently and we all
Yeah,
relay what we're feeling differently. So I am one of those people that when I'm in the shower or in the car, I get my best ideas. And so I want to be able to have something that I could just be like, "Oh my gosh, I just thought of this blah blah blah. Blah. I want to do this." And I don't have to be correct in my typing or my spelling or how I just need to get it out. And
yeah,
then it does what I need it to do. And so I think um that actually brings me to my next and
yeah,
last one we'll talk about is I realize, so one of the biggest pain points as we grow is um, I don't like to micromanage people. It exhausts me. So
yeah.
creating those SOPs is a big piece to the puzzle, but also allowing people the freedom to work to get their job done, however that looks.
Yeah.
I don't want to manage your life. You get the work done, I'm happy. So I'm actually in the middle of creating more of an operations dashboard for our marketing girl to pull analytics and have it right at her fingertips, but I have expectations of what needs to be done in order to continuously every day. And then I've built it so that everything that she has to get done on top of whatever else we have going is in front of her because she's like me, she's visual. She needs to check it off and see. And then on Friday at 4 p.m., it emails all of my partners. We know where we're at, what our analytics look like. And then she doesn't feel like she's scattered and all over the place. She just knows she looks at the dashboard, she's good to go. So we have Asana right now, and Asana. I hate it. I'm spending so much money and I'm sitting here going, this is supposed to be making my life easier. I don't know what button to it's not user friendly for somebody with my brain. I need color and dials, and so I'm building it in order for us to all have the same information, but everybody's dashboard can look the way they need in order to work
100%.
their job.
I think AI infuses a certain level of creativity into our life about
Yeah.
I mean, and to your point, Eric Bramlett was, you're listening to this in May, go back to April 29th and listen to Eric Bramlett's episode. And he runs two office firm in Austin, Texas. And he talks about, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Asana, and he got rid of Asana. And I think it has to do with you have an idea, and now we've been in this world, in the internet pre-AI world, Jamie. We've been in the world where only tech people could make changes to software.
Yeah.
We're now in a world where I want to build what I need, and it could be an app of one, just for one
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of where we're headed. And I'm glad that you shared the idea of building a dashboard that makes sense to the person using it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and that level of customization is made possible. So, go
And like for whoever's listening right now, again, I have zero computer knowledge. I started in Claude Chat
yeah,
and talked, and then moved to the desktop and co-work. And
go work.
co-work, all I did was have conversations with what I wanted and what I wanted to see. And then it tells me, oh, okay, I got to go to Rail. It's going to tell you the apps you need to get in order to connect the puzzle pieces. And if you don't, let me tell you, if you've never used Screenshot and chuck it in and say, I don't see the button you're trying to tell me to, it literally just think of it as it's your BFF who knows everything and say, I don't know how to do this, tell me. And it will do it. It will build the things for you, and then you'll move to code and your world will,
Yeah,
it's endless.
100%. I think if you're listening to this and if you've been on ChatGPT, nothing wrong with where you're at. I think depending on when you listen to this episode, everybody's chasing each other, so they'll all have the similar stuff. But at the moment of this recording, I think Claude, in my mind, is the best, and not just the writer, but also has the right tools, the skills. And so, if you're listening to this, and Jamie, I'm glad you doubled down on the point that you're not a technical person at all, far from it.
Not at
And
all.
most agents are amazing human connectors, average at tech. Now you got the power at your hands if you just learn it a little bit, and learning can be back and forth. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be know before you start. And so Claude Code is for all the tech geeks, but Claude Cowork is similar to Claude Code, but it is more of a natural language conversational style.
Yeah.
And I've been saying this for a while, Jamie, that the most powerful programming language of the future is going to be natural language.
Absolutely.
And we're already in it, in terms of where we are.
Think about the entrepreneurs that don't have, like, if we wanted to build an app, that would have cost me what, $200,000, and
Yeah.
like, at least, maybe, I don't know. But
Yeah.
the fact that I was able to go, here's a problem in my business, I need to find a solution.
Yeah.
This is what I think, and able to literally build something in hours, if
Yeah,
you really
100%.
wanted to dig in, is insane and exciting. It should be exciting.
Exciting. And if you've always been creative at some level, idea generation, and frustrated with what you couldn't do, this
Yeah.
is your unleashing time. Like, you
Yeah,
could
I mean,
literally.
the best things come from pain points. So as long as we're
100%.
solving pain points, and I mean, some of the best things come from just solving our own pain points, and then
Yeah.
go, oh shoot, like the 5 other agents that I've spoke to have
Yeah.
the exact same pain points as me. Let's solve it.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
This has been fun, Jamie. We could keep
Yeah.
talking for more stuff, but you've talked about brand voice, consistency, SOPs. You built a little app for your agents to get instant answers to listing questions, a dashboard that's personalized, and so there's several key takeaways here, of course. That we'll put a link to Jamie's social handle. So if you're looking for a great agent or team in Ottawa or suburbs of Ottawa, Canada, feel free to reach out to Jamie. But before we end, I'd love to ask all my guests 2 questions, and let's finish
Okay.
with this. Are you a book or a podcast person?
I'm both. I
Both.
love listening to like podcasts and Audible, but I'm also such a tactile person. So
Okay.
like, I'll often listen and then
I'll
highlight.
give you, since you're my third guest from Canada, I'm going to give me a book and a podcast that has, one book or a podcast that has deeply influenced you more than others.
Okay. Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell.
Oh yeah, good book.
I listened to that Audible about 3 or 4 years ago, and like we just talked about, like I could say the same thing that somebody a couple of weeks ago said, and some people just hear it differently, or
Yeah.
are at a different time that all of a sudden that resonates with them. And so I started coaching with Dan Martell a couple of months ago, and so I read his book again, and I'm in such a different place in my business. And I realized that leveraging even in those, the financial tight spots, I'm realizing how much my time is worth. And if I stop looking from that like poor person mentality, for lack of a better word, and start going, if I could get somebody for less money to do it, it's going to open it up for me to be able to do what I'm great at and working in my zone of genius. So
100%.
if you've never read Buy Back Your Time, it is a game changer and it's a podcast as well. But I love the book. I love to be able to highlight, and there's lots of things that you can download and work. Maybe not real estate related, but I love Chris Kerner from the Kerner office, or Corner office. It's KOER. He's just really starting to get on AI, but it's more for business people. And he just finds people that have been creative in the coolest of ways to make X amount of money so quick by just, the key thing that I take from him is like, just do it. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Just do it and watch your business grow.
And, it's interesting, I think I tell people, many of us are not supremely talented. Okay. Maybe Jamie is. I'm not. But I think the key you want to get out of this is if you're just simply insanely curious, which is what I am, insanely curious.
Mhm.
Like if you send me a YouTube video, if I watch a YouTube video of something I've not done in an AI tool, I bookmark it, may not get to it today, but tomorrow I watch it, I actually go do it. It's an
Yeah.
unlock. So if you just have that curiosity culture, whether reading, listening, watching, I think it's going to get you miles ahead of people just talking about it and not doing anything.
Well, it's so funny. I know everybody's using this graph and I don't even know what it's called, but it's like an entire sheet and it's a whole bunch of dots. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
you see it's AI and it's like a representation of the people in the world, and 95% of it is gray dots. People that they either like don't use it at all, literally don't even open it, or ask where the next pizza spot is. And then there's another line of like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 dots that are people that have conversations and it knows, and maybe they've got a skill or something. And then there's such a small fraction of people that actually goes, it's not going to be perfect, and I'm going to take time to learn, and I'm going to fumble and probably mess it up, but I'm going to do it. And that is where so as an entrepreneur, like if you're excited and passionate just even about learning, you will be miles ahead than 99% of our world, because most people overanalyze or get to it later or aren't in a learning phase in their life and don't care to, and just think that this is something that, they'll learn. This isn't start now. You're going to be so far behind if you're not even just learning those little basic tools. So my only subscription really that I watch on TV is YouTube, and I have the paid version because I can't stand watching ads. But every morning, the first hour of my day after I've sat with my husband is coffee and find what's trending on YouTube in AI world, just to learn and see and apply something new to my day.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, set some time aside for learning, and you'll see wonders. So last question I have for you, Jamie, is you've been in real estate 5.5 years. You sort of co-lead a team. If you had to give one piece of advice, it could be AI, anything, business, life, doesn't matter, that you wish you had known at a younger age, that's a piece of advice that you'd go back to that the listeners can take and implement, hopefully, what would that be?
Never be the smartest person in the room.
Oh,
I think it's amazing to be vulnerable, and like, trust me, I don't like looking stupid in front of people, but I also realize that like all of us are just here doing our best, and we have vulnerabilities in every part of our lives. But yeah, I don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room, because when you're around people that make you feel insecure, I just take it as a spot that I can just be better and I can learn. And from those spheres that you start hanging out with, those connections come, and it's incredible to watch yourself level up and level up and level up just by the proximity of the people that you surround yourself with.
100%. And I think that takeaway right there, it means that you are more proactive in getting into rooms that actually make you not the smartest person, so you can level up. So great takeaway.
This is my first podcast ever, and I was like, I've been saying I'll do this for a while, and it scares the crap out of me. I don't like looking stupid. I don't like making mistakes, or, the social media can be a mean spot, but I think that the upside to the downside is way bigger. And if it's going to allow somebody to get a little nugget and do some great things, I would much prefer to see that than not do it out of fear.
100%. And I'll tell you, if you didn't say that it was your first, nobody would know. A. B, I do think there's so much of value that people that are listening would have gotten out of seeing your progression and what you've done with no technical background.
Yeah.
I think you were a source of inspiration, and I'm glad we connected, Jamie.
Me too.
Glad we connected. I'm looking forward to keeping track of your team's success. And if I'm ever in Ottawa for anything, I'm going to look you up so we can have a cup of coffee.
Would love that.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.
Okay. You too.
If you found value in the show, follow it so you're notified every Wednesday when new episodes drop. Share it with someone in the industry you care for, and leave us a review, as it helps us reach more real estate professionals like you.